Back when nothing truly mattered and we hadn't had a clue. We fell in to play the game. Nothing would ever be the same. There were times when there was laughter. There were times when there was joy. But they took it all away for the pleasure in our pain. Welcome to our new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we know. Welcome to our new world. All the lie you tried to hide away from the scars we made. This is your chance to understand we did not design this plan that was built for you. There's nothing you can do. This is my warning, this is your sign that you can't go run and hide. We will fight for you. You know it to be true. Welcome to our new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we know. Welcome to our new world. All the lie you tried to hide away from the scars we made. From the scars we Welcome to our new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our new world. All the lie you tried to hide away from the scars we made. Welcome to Back when nothing truly mattered and we hadn't had a clue. We fell in to play the game. Nothing would ever be the same. There were times when there was laughter. There were times when there was joy. But they took it all away for the pleasure in our pain. Welcome Screaming louder through the rains, fuel burns and glow with the pixel blaze. The rubber is roll with a fist clenched tight. Your TV lights up the endless night. Fight to fight, we live the speed. No TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats pounding, engines climb. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck roll. Sim racers tearing through the thunder soul. Gear shifts crack like a lightning storm. Digital warriors breaking the norm. Turn the wheel through the breakneck roll. Sim racers down through the thunder soul.
And welcome to Nerd TV for another ProSim Racing Alliance Fixed ARCA Series race live from the simulated Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. We're going to turn 125 laps around this 0.6 mile facility as we get the countdown to green started off, presented by, of course, Icon Apparel Company. Wouldn't have it any other way there. Is we're going to go over the weather of tonight's race. 84 degrees at nighttime. It's a steaming night here. Got 46% humidity, which that's actually very comfortable. Cloudy and 7 miles an hour winds, which we know short tracks don't care about wind. So there's that. There's weather and your commentators. That's myself, Jeremy Stanley, aka Jay Swifty. To my right hand side, co-part for these Thursdays is Colt Ainsley. The actual Colt Ainsley, not the one from yesterday, which had your name, I think, briefly over or under Dustin's picture, if I remember that correctly. So, what's up, man?
Oh, nothing much. Just been enjoying watching these guys struggle at Nashville. This is I'm having cable issues here. Hold on, we're gonna do it live. But ran some test laps here at Nashville earlier this week, and this is a fun racetrack to drive. I'm a short track lover, but man, this place was tough on tires. It was, we were bouncing all over the place. Tires were wearing out really quickly. It's gonna be a fun night.
Very, very, very bumpy track. It doesn't look like it on camera. I don't know if we can showcase some angles tonight. Maybe some in-car stuff from the gyro cam or whatever, but this track is terrible on tires. Just terrible. Because every time you jump the car over the bumps, when the car lands, it just scrubs that much extra rubber off the tire when it's, you know, cooking at over 160, 170, 180 degrees going around this thing. So, should be fun to watch these ARCA cars go bouncy over them. We got about, was it 12 entries tonight? 12 or 11? 12, yeah, we had 12 here tonight. So, last time we had a short track, it wasn't as many drivers. So I'm kind of curious to see how 12 cars do here. Looks like they're having a lot of handful situations there, Colt.
Yeah, from what we discovered is, especially in, I believe it's turn 2, where that big bump is down there on the bottom, when you hit that, the shocks don't like it all that much. And so when your shocks go through that, it unloads the car really badly. And if you bounce, you're just gonna, the back end's gonna step out, and there's almost no saving it. But what's even worse, there's almost no warning. When it happens, and you're halfway already around. So you just kind of have to grab a gear and try to straighten it out without without looping it in front of the field, or sliding up and wiping out the guy to your outside or behind you or whatever. So you'll see these guys try running the second lane. You'll see them kind of use a diamond like what you'd see at New Hampshire, where they'll enter low, sweep up, and then dip back down to make the straightaway as long as possible. A couple different lines that they're going to run tonight. We'll see which one's going to prevail.
Yeah, watching this car on board right now. This is Brandon Schumann, driver 52, and this camera angle is just showing how. Oh, he parks it here, but that last lap, that car was all over the place, up and down. Not so much left and right per se, his lap, but very up and down, like bumpy, and that's it for practice. That is it. So we're gonna get our cameras off your screens. We're gonna go full screen for this qualifying session as your fastest guy in practice was driver number 28, Mr. Corey Bigley. Very close by was the number 1 of John Freeman. So those two hold the top spot in practice. Can it translate into qualifying? That'll be determined here real shortly. But Colt, I want to go over some points first before we kick this thing off to green flag overall. So we are on race number 10 of scheduled 17. And this is technically the final race of the regular season because as of next week, they have it labeled as Chase Round 1, Race 1. So they're going to go 1 race, 2 race, and then go to the second round and go 1 race, 2 race, third round, 1 race, 2 race, and then the final at Michigan. So that'd be kind of cool. But Billy Bigley Jr. or Corey Bigley in the session, if you will, has the point lead. 25 points over Dominic Bettini. Third place is John Freeman, who did practice second. Mark Truxell holds fourth. He is 66 points out. Rodney Roberts, is your guy in the top 5. 68 out. But those guys are basically locked in on points. That Colt, they're sitting pretty comfortable, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. And we had talked about last week when the incident between Dominic Bettini and Mark Truxell. You see how much of a point swing that was. He was ahead by 5 points, I believe, going into last week's race, and then getting spun out there at the end really, really hurt him. And so now he is gone from being in the points lead by a few points to 25 behind. That's a rough points drop, but it's not really going to matter. There's no bonus for winning the regular season other than bragging rights. There's no bonus playoff points. So yeah, the top 12, to my knowledge, are advancing. So Steve Rada looks like he's going to make it in. Derek Runge, despite missing a handful of races, there's going to be quite a few people who make it in, and it's going to go from who's going to maintain the points lead to watching that playoff bubble, who's going to be in, who's going to be out. So it should be an interesting couple of weeks coming up.
It's very fun to see how this league ProSim Racing Alliance handles the playoff situation. It'd be kind of cool. Kind of see it. 2 races in, done. 2 races in, done. That's the format. We're 2.5 minutes left into this qual session, 5 minutes in total. And it looks like our point leader and fastest guy in practice, the 28, is hitting the track now, getting his tires warmed up as he takes it very slowly off the corner there. Very tricky to get off pit road at speed, so you have to be careful. Goes all the way to the wall. You're going to widen that thing out, get a straight launch off the corner, at least the best he can. And here we go. Fastest guy in practice and in this season, going to go wide in turn 1. Now, Colt, was that something that you would do here to avoid the bumps to pick up speed, or is that just a miscue?
I've seen it, but it looks like that was a miscue for him as he goes wide in 3 and 4, and he's going to dip down, try to make the straightaway long again, make another crack at it. He threw that lap away. I do see him running just a hair lower than typically I have seen, because he hits that bump right there in 2. It's probably, if you look at a corner like from a bird's eye view, that big bump, that big dip in the pavement is probably about the 60 to 65% mark around the corner. And so you saw him get into that just a little bit, but I mean, it didn't matter all that much. He jumps to the point pretty handily. Everybody else was running. I mean, we're looking at a 1/10 difference between each qualifying lap, half a 1/10 of difference. So he gets the 18.499, and Bettini was sitting pretty good with that 6:04. I thought he'd have a good time, but he gets relegated back to 3rd.
Where's the number 1 to John? Oh, I say the number, and there he is. He's on track. With less than 1 minute left, this guy's going to try to squeeze in 2 qualifying laps here at Nashville. He's going to get 1 lap in. I don't think he's going to get the second one in. So this is going to be a one and done, most likely, for Mr. Freeman. 30 seconds left. Yeah, this is it. So here we go. He is number 1 on the boards, number 42 on screen. This guy's always confusing us. Oh, very loose, off the throttle a lot there on exit. Not going to be good, and he goes wide. So throwaway lap, and the only lap for the 42. 15 seconds left in session. 22nd lap's not going to make it. They post 18.809, puts on P5. He's trying.
Loses it.
Well, he tried too hard. Never mind. Done.
And he had a rough start too. It looks like he took off, but had got a black flag for leaving the pits either unsafe or spinning the tires too much. something iRacing didn't like about it, so he had to reset, and that's what cost him that lap. So he's going to be starting in the back, as well as Keenan Kimber, Mark Truxell, Bobby Hamilton Jr. So we'll see. Oh, I say that he got that one lap in. Sorry, I didn't see him pop up on the board, but I'm
The
sure
black
they're
flag,
starting to credit him now.
if you saw the black flag, that's probably because he wrecked his stuff. And iRacing's qualifying rule book is very strict. You can set it to relaxed or strict. I'm not sure the exact terminology, but when you have it strict, if you're anything off pace, they black flag you. So that's probably what happened there. And here we go, gridding up for race number 10 of the inaugural PSRA, that is ProSim Racing Alliance Fixed ARCA Series. Corey Bigley, P1. Brandon Schumann on the outside in second row and third. Dominic Bettini to his outside in fourth. Derek Welch. Row 3, fifth place, John Freeman. And Pete Polini making a return here in P6. Seventh place, Aaron Longworth. And then our nerd esports driver, Steve Rada, P8. Ninth place, Chase Rockford. And 10th place, Keenan Kimber. And then our final row, Bobby Hamilton Jr. in 11th. And Mark Truxell, the caboose of tonight's field in our 12-car lineup. We're going to go refreshing. 125 laps are on this place. No fast repairs. Bumpy track, short track racing. We've seen the previous short tracks. It wasn't the most friendliest to these drivers, if you want to put it that way. Do we think we're going to take it easy, or do you think these guys are going to try to hash it out in this final regular season race?
I would like to say that they're going to run nice and smooth, and they're going to fire off, but we know somebody's going to loop it into two or into three, and or out of two or into three, and either spin out or wipe somebody out with them. So we'll see. What's going to be fun to watch tonight is I would say the show is going to be watching Mark Truxell and Bobby Hamilton Jr. march their way through the field, starting in the back. You have two very different approaches. Bobby is very aggressive. He's very rough and tumble, hard-nosed racer. He knows this place. He hates this place, but he's good around here. And then you got Mark Truxell, like we've seen, just the calm, cool, collected. He's going to show up at the end of the race, and we'll see which one is going to be the better of the two.
All right. Here we go. We're going to go 2 pace laps. The green flag for this race. And I'm expecting 28 to launch pretty quick. I'm also expecting some of these guys to take it easy, because these cars on these cold tires, at least in practice, do not look happy. They have to get the heat in them. So we might see an early crash. Like you said, someone's going to send off in turn 2, hit the bumpies. And I just caught the glimpse of the 49 Dominic Bettini. And what's his back bumper say something about? It's got Dale Jr. plastered on his back bumper. That's kind of loud. Says I got dirty race. I don't know what that is. That's kind of wild, but here we go. Pace car's going to come down here. We're going to go green flag racing. Hit the restart zone pretty quick here. 3, 2, 1. Green flag is out. This race is underway. And the top 4 break away early. 5 and 6, and everybody on back falls just a little behind as it gives some space to the race leaders. Off of turn 2, 1 scrapes the wall. Looks like Pete Polini is one of the guys who hits the wall. Keeps it going straight here. 2 wide for majority of the field. Off of turn 3 and 4, more scraping on the outside wall. Clean opening lap overall, no wrecks.
A lot of give and take. I'm seeing a lot of room being given. Nobody's doing anything stupid. That's really good to see. But we also see very carefully Dominic Bettini moving up to the second position. He is going to be hunting down the 28 car. He has got a he's got some not vengeance built up to that driver specifically, but he wants that points lead back. So he's going to try to get up there, and he's got John Freeman to the outside of him, and Derek Welch just kind of waiting in the wings there. We're going to see which line's going to prevail right here, though. I mean, early on in the restart, typically we see the bottom, but it looks like the top might even be prevailing here. Just those bumps are so rough once you get going, once the tire pressures start to build up. It's really rough on the car as DW gets around him there. Battle for the lead.
Brandon Schumann. Where did this guy come from? Fifth fastest in practice. Qualifies second. Gives up a little ground, but I didn't expect him, based on his practice times, to be up here battling early with the 28, but here he goes. He gets a great launch off the exit of 2. Going to take it to the inside. Contact.
Oh, gets into the 28.
Turns him.
Contact.
He saves him after the initial spin, but man, that's going to shift him back to 5th place, it looks like, as the 49 Bettini gets around him. Goes single file for the race lead. 2nd and 3rd place side by side here is John Freeman trying to pick up some spots, and looks like he barely clears Derek Welch, but a little aggressive early on there for Brandon Schumann.
Yeah, and what a save by Bigley. I know the 52 kind of got his left front, straightened him back out again. I was just about to say Corey Bigley runs here in another series. I forget which one he said, but he runs here occasionally in real life, and he knows this place pretty well. It looks like 52 just kind of got in there a little too hot, washed up, and thankfully nobody spun around or hit the wall. But that, you see that left front tire locking up, that thing is going to get some heat built up in it, and it's going to struggle for the rest of this first run.
Yeah, thing is cooked, right? The right front did a lot of locking up, and tires are hot, so he's got to cool
Oh,
it.
is he? He's going to spin it out.
Here he goes. Oh, right in front of the 42 there. Aaron Longworth, caution out, lap 9, first caution of the night. And it's going to be the straight up just the 28 getting loose and spinning out because of the tires being cooked. And then Aaron Longworth, nowhere to go, wrong place, wrong time. Squares him up right in the driver door.
Yeah, he just drove it in there too hard, got on the brakes too heavy, probably started wheel hopping just a little bit. Pretty square hit for the 42 of Longworth. So nose is dented in, but it looks like he's not. Looks like it might not be too bad as long as he didn't crack his radiator. I think he'll be fine. Not a whole lot of damage to the 28 either.
Decides not to pit. Aaron Longworth, nose damage, not going to pit, not going to fix it. So he's going to take himself from 6th up to 2nd, as Dominic Bettini's going to be your 3rd leader of the night, 2nd lead change. Moves himself to P1 after starting in 3rd. So drop back a little bit on that start. Going to use some strategy to put himself at the front, which this track is a little challenging to pass some guys around. So why not tactically approach, get a lap lead? Does he come down pit road? It looks like everybody else wants to. And, well, there's 1, 2.
They're going to go the second time around.
Not Pete Polini. He's going to stay out and get himself a lap lead.
There you go.
All
Gotta
right.
get him how you can.
Yeah.
Track
Yeah, he's
position
gonna be a
seems
fourth
to be
leader.
so important right now, and it almost looks like either Bettini was trying to lead a lap and so was Longworth, or potentially the pits opened before they realized it and they didn't even have a chance to get down pit road. I know that happened last week in the open race at Darlington. The cars were so spread out that when the caution came out, it took us so long to catch back up that the leaders were already on pit road getting service by the time we hit the commitment line. So could have been an instance of that. Could have just been trying to get a fresh set of tires and get a lap lead, even though you start at the back. I was just about to say, though, I feel like track position is almost more important than the fresh tires. Even though tires are important, we are finding that these general tires that the ARCA car runs is incredibly hard. So you have to really work them to build that heat up. Even though we were just talking about Bigley locking up, but we're finding that even if you abuse that tire, I guess that's a better way of putting it, and the lap times do fall off, track position is still more important. And not for an aero advantage, it's hard to pass in these cars. It's difficult, especially a lot of the tracks we're running.
You're fast enough to where maybe you could say something about aero, but I honestly don't think. I think it's just more just the handling because of how unsmooth this track is. So you're not worried about aero as much as you are just handling and grip and driving over the bumps as we go back to green flag on lap 14. And here we go. Can Pete hold it off? A really fast John Freeman. He's going to go right to the inside. Takes a quick look. The 47 gets him tons of room, but at the same time tries to get a launch. Does not get it. They're back. They're actually the 5th leader of tonight's race. The number 1/42 to John Freeman. Top 4 single file. Got 1 2x2 here. Lurking right behind Steve Rada in car number 3. Goes clear here for the most part. Corey Bigley makes the pass. Here comes Bettini. And
Boy, Steve was the meat in the sandwich a minute ago.
Yeah, Rockford just got pushed all the way to the back. Freight train.
And Bigley, he's got to be frustrated right now. I don't know. Obviously, he probably didn't get that much damage, maybe a little bit of toe from that contact, but he's just stuck in traffic. And sometimes it's so difficult, even though you're way faster, you just get stuck behind a handful of guys. They're running their race, they're doing their job, but it can be so frustrating. It looks like Polini gets the outside wall, wisely hooks it into it to keep from bouncing off and getting into somebody else. But to keep it straight, DW.
They're just trying to tear down this wall. Pete Polini's doing a great job at it. Second place, Derek Welch. She scuffs it up. Oh, Steve Rada. No.
Oh,
no.
into the
second
wall.
caution.
Bigley, another wreck. Big.
This is going to be quite a few drivers as Steve Rada overcorrects it. Gets loose. He could have pointed to the inside wall, but he turned the wheel to the right. And these tires grip because our cars do have a lot of grip on the front side of these things. And right across the field goes him as he takes out four others with him.
Yeah, just a little bit of wheel spin there on exit. Tries to save it. Car weight shifts and gets right up in front of Keenan Kimber. Not a heavy hit for Kimber or Bigley for that matter, but it's this spin down to the inside wall that gets Bigley. He hits it pretty hard. And then Bettini, the two battling for the points lead, they get into it. And then that hit right there broke the left rear of Steve Rada's car. You can see it towed the wrong direction, and it was crab walking down the front stretch. So pretty extensive damage, pretty tore up race car there for Steve Rada, unfortunately. As Pete Polini, I mean, he was just falling through the field trying to avoid hitting anyone and nowhere to go.
Yeah, if he's wanting an iRacing iFlat car, he's got to straighten up that act, or else we can't be putting new fresh paint in the wall. But speaking of sponsors, we're going to take a quick commercial break here. Picture-in-picture mode. We'll be right back. Back to full screen and also back to green flag. If you're a person of averages, our cautions fell on lap 9 and 18. So lap 27, expect something possibly to go down here as we go single file real quick. 42/1's gonna, oh man, Schumann aggressive again. Slides it just a little bit. Thankfully, John Freeman gave the space, but look at that. Schumann takes the lead aggressively, and here comes Corey Bigley. He's trying to get back to the 52. Oh, contact almost to the rear bumper of John Freeman.
Yeah, Bigley spilled blood in the water there with Freeman getting out of shape from Schumann getting up underneath him and just got a little over aggressive. But yeah, I think you're right. I think he might be hunting that 52 Toyota Camry, and the 42 better find a place. He either needs to get in front of the 52 or get behind him, because I think we might have some fireworks, and he probably doesn't want to be a part of it.
It isn't 4th of July, but it's a nighttime race, and my producer's in my ear. He's breaking some news. Never mind. He went silent. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, here we go.
You got the
Speaking
sticker.
of fireworks, if you just take the word fire, light a grill top, and there you go. We have beef brewing, cooking up here. Possibly. We still got to get there was a soundboard effect I had for that. It'll come up soon. I'll find one. It's gonna go right with it. But possibly we might have to display that image once more. The top four here at Coulter really spaced themselves out. Oh man, Derek Welch,
Big
the
hit.
hardest impact of the wall so far tonight. That car can't be driving straight after that, can it?
DW doesn't drive a car straight anyway, so he'll probably be just
Oh, there
fine.
you go.
He's just using pro racer strategies. He's trying to get up there, get the wall, knock the extra ball bearings he's got hidden in the frame rail loose. He's trying to get the toe right because, well, this is a fixed setup. We can't even say he's being aggressive on the toe and camber settings, but no, he got a little aggressive, and not something we see DW do very often. He's a very cool, calculated driver, as looks like Schumann might be back in the pack up, because everybody's kind of bunched together. He hasn't really pulled away, and Freeman hasn't really fallen back. I think he's pacing himself and forcing these drivers to fight amongst themselves rather than chase him down.
These ARCA cars are resilient, man. He destroyed that wall, and he's also the very next lap trying to pass Corey Bigley for P3.
Oh, a little bit of rear lockup there and going into the corner, though.
His corner entrance is a little uncanny. He needs to take a much more smoother approach at it if he wants to get around the 28 or maybe take the outside. It's going to be tough to get around these three guys, but he's got some speed still in that car. He's absolutely showing it. He's just gridlocked at the moment. He's going to take the wide. Here we go. So now he's going to do the swooping exit. This is what we're talking about. We're going to get the nose underneath. Now we have car position. And then he's
into the
gonna wreck
28 again.
Man, caution out on lap 32.
Corey Bigley
Corey.
needs to stay away from the casino
that-
this week.
You know that cliche thing where if you got donuts on the left side, you're getting destroyed. If you got them on the right side, you're using people up. Oh, Corey Bigley is the wall.
I was about to say his right side is spotless. His left side, not so much, but it looks like he might have got some suspension damage that time.
If I can defend just a touch for Mr. Corey Bigley, Derek Welch seemed to kind of enter a little high in that corner for being the guy on the inside. I feel like he could have went down just a little sooner, but needless to say, they both go around there on turn 3 after that contact.
Yeah, you can say that. I mean, the problem with the fairgrounds is, as you see the left front. Oh yeah.
Oh man, there is
Frustration boiling over right there. Left front's done. He probably got a meatball flag. I've had that happen before. Very frustrating. But there goes your point leader.
Hold on.
Wrecked out, but also the guy chasing him is sitting on pit road behind him. So,
And Dustin, yeah, look at this. What kind of pit stall is this that Corey Bigley's in? That's ultimate cheat code when you don't have to jump over the wall to service the car.
yeah,
You just
yeah.
run straight to the car. I guess P1 is the best spot here, huh?
I guess. Well, I mean, we say that, but he's sitting in his stall rather getting repairs rather than service. So
that's a fair point. That was a very fair point. Set up for success. Didn't take it. Well, I guess he took it twice. And corner entry, for that matter. But we're going to get this thing back going again here in just a couple laps. Quick shout out to iRacingIFlag.com. Speaking of which, I threw a little shade with Steve in the paint job, but I'll give him the official shout out. So if you're looking for a 64 LED light display system that gives you all the iRacing notifications in a bright, beautiful fashion in a customized 3D printed box and holder that it comes with, I should say an option that you can include with your purchase. Head yourself to iRacingIFlag.com. It's a very cool product. I have it. I've had it for a year and a half, I think. And it's so cool. It's got my name on it. It's got my logo on it. And once again, iFlag. iRacingIFlag.com. I can't read anymore, Colt, but there we go. Here we go. Pace car is down. 52, Schumann. The one of Freeman. Derek Welch, top 3. Green flag, and the 65 is Blinky Blinky.
that's not fun on a restart, not knowing where somebody is, and that's where you're racing the closest. So John Freeman decides to give him a little bit of breathing room on that first corner, figure out where he's going to be, and then he dives to the inside. Back to what we were talking about with the one of Derek Welch and the 28 of Corey Bigley. Watching these lines, if you watch where these guys run, there's a seam between the first set of dotted lines and the yellow line, just right there in the middle of that bottom, bottom lane, I'm sorry. And you see these guys, they ever so slightly will dip their left sides up underneath that seam. Sometimes in 3 and 4, you'll see them drop lower than that. But I feel like they were just fighting over the same space. And here at Nashville, you cannot run the yellow line. It's just not possible unless you've got a Baja setup in there. You're not going to be able to run all the way down around that yellow line. So I feel like DW thought he was going to get a little bit more room. He was just trying to run his line and make a pass. He was expecting a little bit from Bigley. I don't expect Bigley to give him any room. He's been run over twice tonight and been involved in pretty much every caution there was. So I don't expect him to give up anything, and he just runs his line. And it's the bottom lane and the top lane kind of intersect with each other here. So not a lot of real estate and pretty big-bodied cars to be running side by side.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. It's been a while since I've turned laps here at Nashville, and correct me if I'm wrong. The fastest way around this track is not up against that yellow line from the start to the finish of the corner, right? I think it's a little higher entry. Maybe you can apex it at the bottom, or you just hover just above it. Because I feel like the center of the corner gets really tight with a tighter radius, and then it kind of kicks out slightly again on exit. So it kind of throws you for a loop if you try to run and hug the bottom. Is that kind of true, or do you actually hug the yellow line here?
Yeah, it's you don't want to hug the yellow line. The bumps are just so rough down there from all the years of people hugging the yellow line. It just got so rough down there, you can't do that anymore. Typically, like what I've seen other guys do and what I like to do is run what I call the Dover line, which is where you enter kind of high. You enter just maybe half a lane above what you want to run. And I'm sorry, half a lane below what you want to run. You run up just a little bit, form a bit of a diamond, and then start to turn the car back down. Sure, it works your right sides a little bit harder, but you generate a massive run down the straightaway. And if you can maintain that position, the tires aren't going to matter as much because we've seen how difficult it is to pass here. So yeah, the diamonding the corner, staying about half a lane above the yellow line at minimum is what that's going to be your ticket around here.
Welcome back to the track. 24 laps down. The driver, the 49, Dominic Bettini, P11. He's got all of his car repaired and back on the track, ready to go. As we're on the back bumper, the 52 is Schumann looking at a really hungry John Freeman all over his back bumper right now. Clearly the faster of the two cars. It's just he's trying to figure out how to pass. I really like that approach when Derek Welch, right before the caution, went high in turn 1 and turn 2, drives it deep and gets it door to door with Corey Bigley getting to turn 3. I thought that was a really strong move. So if maybe the Freeman's car can do the same thing, it might set him up for success to getting back to the race lead once more.
Well, and this is the fun difference between the open and the fixed cars. The fixed has a setup, obviously, specifically the rear end gear ratio. And so these guys run a little bit longer gear than what I think this track should run, because I did run the fixed setup when we were doing our open testing. And it just felt like it was lacking a little bit on the end of the straightaway. And so that's for that reason. If you want to arc the car back down and increase the length of the straightaway, increase the amount of time you're full throttle without hitting the chip, that's what you're going to want to do, especially on older tires. As the tires are going to start to wear out, you're going to go through the corners slower, your revs are going to be lower. You've got to maintain that momentum. You've got to maintain the RPMs, or you are going to struggle on the exit of the corner. Whereas in the open cars, we can play around with the rear end gear. We can play around, obviously, with anything we want. And it's almost a completely different racetrack. Like the line stays the same, but how the car handles can completely change. And it's two different race cars, entirely two different race cars. And it's quite the difference when we made the switch to the setup we've been building from this setup that these guys are running right now.
Yeah, when you don't have the NASCAR rulebook in front of you where you're restricted to do 1,000 different things and you can only tweak here and there. ARCA cars are way more of an open book. These things are built in people's garages at home. Half of them don't even have a race shop. They're just, low budget. Just what tools you have, you just turn them, you make things happen. And that's why you have two different feeling cars on your perspective as to if you're in, one of the higher end cars. Well, you can forget about that. It's one car that does a little something different here or there and not much variance. And I love that approach to it. I did see, or have been tracking rather, the one of Welch as he gets wicked loose there. And the 65 of Keenan Kimber from 10th place to 3rd have averaged a much better and more consistent lap time than your race leader. So this is why they're all four now basically nose to tail. The 52 Schumann got a little bit of a breakaway that time, but they're close, man. Either one of these guys can maybe take advantage and get the pass completed.
Yeah, I think Schumann knows he's not the fastest car, and I think he knows he has a tendency to burn his tires up sooner than people like Freeman do. So I think what he's doing is he's using a bit of an old road course trick. He is not running away. He is setting a pace, which is an oval thing, especially a short track thing. But he's backing Freeman up to Kimber, and then in turn backing Kimber up to Welch. Welch is backing up to Mark Truxell hanging out back there because it's so tough to pass here. All he's got to do is just maintain his lane, and if Freeman can't get to him in the center of the corner to bump him out of the way, he's golden. He doesn't have to do anything. As we see them get really close here, Freeman might have a look, but he's just backing him up, and he's relying on Freeman not running him over, and he's forcing them to fight each other and look in their rearview mirror rather than look out their windshield and try to chase him down.
He's there too. I think Brandon was setting a pace, but I think he's struggling a little bit now. I don't think he's going to allow Freeman to get this close to his bumper. Without
This is scary close, or this is mistake close.
yeah, and we've seen quite a few moments in this race already where second place has tagged the race leader just like that. That was so close from taking out the 52. They have pulled away from 3rd and 4th place, the two guys I mentioned, Kimber and Welch. They are off pace now. So it's now back to a 2-car battle for the race leaders. Here in the next 2 laps, we're going to be halfway to tonight's finish.
Yeah, you can see that Schumann and Freeman grabbed another gear, and they're taking off. They're trying to run faster laps now. Schumann was just saving his stuff, waiting for the 42 to get to him. But yeah, he let him get really close. That is not comfortable close. That, especially at a place like this. If you're looking at another short track like Bristol, even Martinsville, New Smyrna, places like that where it's a 1 lane and the bumpers are going to stay lined up, it's not super bumpy, that's an okay distance. But places like this where you can hit bumps and the whole car will jump out from underneath you, that's a little close.
He's starting to gap him just a touch here, at least this past lap anyways. Keenan Kimber brought himself back into the picture. Close it up to about 2 to 3 car lengths right behind the 42 or the 1, depending on where you're looking on the screen. As you guys continue to log laps, we're going to take our second picture-in-picture commercial break. We're going to be right back.
Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm really hungry, but I'm trapped in here, and I dropped my last piece of boozy jerky on the floor. I can't reach it. Would you mind grabbing me a bag of the most tender, flavorful booze-infused jerky on the planet? I promise I'll pay you back. I mean, I'd eat my piece, but I can't reach it. Oh, actually, I got it. Oh, it's so good. It's so tender, so flavorful. You should really pick yourself up a bag. But if you do, you can't eat it in here. Now, this is my spot. I own this spot. Boozy Jerky, the original booze-infused beef jerky with a pair. Now available.
Back full screen here, right when we went to commercial break, we saw the lead change between John Freeman and Brandon Schumann, which marks the 6th lead change of the night amongst 5 drivers. Since then, the 52 tried to keep up, did not work, and now he's fallen to the clutches of Keenan Kimber, who went from 10th place to 2nd, going to use up the 52 this time to make the pass fully completed. Now here comes Derek Welch. He's going to try to make the pass happen. 52 goes wide, pass completed, crossover, tried it, but he had to check up right before cutting down. So there we go, 52 now, back to P4.
Yeah, I think Schumann just used his tires up way too much, which is easy to do in this setup that they're running. But you see John Freeman, I mean, he's just so good at saving tires. We've seen week in, week out how he can save tires with the best of them. Derek, well, I'm curious to see if DW can get around Kimber, if he'll be able to track him down, because we also know DW is another great tire saver. I know he's got a little bit of damage. I don't know how much that's affecting him, but if he can get around him, I mean, he's got a handful of laps that he can try to run the 42 back down, and he might even have better tires than John Freeman, because Freeman was trying to get around the 52 for so long, just working those tires, so he might have a little bit of a late race advantage here.
Yeah, I mean, he smashed the wall pretty hard there off of turn 4, the 40-ish laps ago, and I don't think that's affected his car one bit, actually. The car looks pretty clean body-wise. I haven't seen any handling issues from him, so I think he's going to be A-okay, as this guy on your screen just tearing him apart, man. He's got a 2-second lead, 2.2 that time around. He's gained 2/10 since the last lap alone. Keenan Kimber trying to do what he can to break away from Derek Welch. That's just not possible. He's still mirror driving a little bit with Schumann still pressing the issue and putting himself into the mix. Why not? This guy is 24 laps down, and he is looking to pass 4th place. Dominic Bettini, he brought the big spoon, man. He's trying to stir the pot.
Well, it looks like, looking at the points here, if Freeman can lock this thing down, and I mean, we still got a little ways to go, obviously, but looking at the points, he'll be these. Oh, Schumann misses the corner entirely there. His tires have really gone away. But if Freeman can nail this thing down, he'll be only the 2nd repeat winner in the series so far. Derek Runge being the only other one to do it, and going into the playoffs, you might be getting hot at the right time, because the points lead's going to get wiped away. Everybody's going to be on an even playing field, and they're going to have to work their way through the rounds. So he might be turning it up at the perfect time. Oh, DW gets really loose behind Chase Rockford.
Good save there. Couple cars coming up now for a lap down, as we're going to be this is going to be a little fun battle as they go around the 71 into turn 3 and 4. Here we go. Do we go 3 wide, or we squeeze?
Oh, 3 wide's not a good idea.
Oh, 71's going to squeeze him. He gives him all the room and actually clears him right before exit. So safe there as Rockford actually put himself in the outside wall. That's a good heads
Yeah,
up
good
there
job there
by
for
the
Chase.
71.
As looking at my other monitor, I heard a little bit of tires squealing. The 42 got a little bit loose in the center of the corner, but kept it going. But I'm wondering if he might be starting to have a little bit of handling issues.
I mean, at this point in the race, there's going to be a decent amount of cars who are just not handling the way they should, or at least plan to here. Lap 88 now underway here of the 125 lap event, so we're just under 40 laps to go. John Freeman bust out to a 3.5 second lead, just manhandling the field at this point. How, Cole, on a fixed setup, can John Freeman look like Shane Van Gisbergen on a road course in the Cup Series?
All about tire management. As we talked about how hard these General tires are, but you've got to keep the heat out of these things as much as humanly possible. And it sounds counterintuitive, but with these fixed setups and what I found, the easier you drive, the earlier you lift off, the more you coast into a corner, use less brake, keep the brake heat down, keep the tire heat down. These guys that do that have a tendency to be able to run better on longer runs. Whereas, Brandon Schumann, for example, not to throw him under the bus, but you could tell he was really driving it hard and getting a little bit technical with it. This setup has a lot of front weight in it, a lot of ballast in it. So it's going to drive really good. It's going to fire off, and you're going to be like, man, this thing's amazing. And it's going to start to go away as that those front tires start to wear. They start to not turn as well. Then you start using up the rears because you're trying to turn it with the throttle. And so, yeah, it's just kind of a slippery slope you get on. But guys like Freeman, if we ride on board with him, I bet he is cutting butter right now. Just as smooth as he could possibly be, rolling in and out of the throttle, a little bit on the brakes. He's not even turning the wheel all that much, and then rolling back into the throttle. Not stepping on it, not mashing it, not letting the back end step out. A little bit loose there on entry, but that's probably just hitting the bump. He's just out for a Sunday drive. The faster guys typically look like they're driving slower, and it's just call it the I don't know what the visual version of the Doppler effect is, but that's kind of how it is. These guys that are really smooth, everything's slower to them. They perceive things quicker. Everything looks like it's coming by slower. They can manage their driving style a lot better than these guys who are just barreling it off into the corner, trying to go as fast as they possibly can.
Yeah, and another side effect to that too, not only are they running more consistent times, but they really don't have much of a swing when it comes to the handling of the car. So John's probably sitting in there almost virtually at the same braking point, at the same throttle on point on exit that he has been 20, 30 laps ago. He's not really feeling those effects because his tires are way fresher. So he's got a faster looking car in the long run, and it's driving about the same. As we got a little battle here. Derek Welch getting past. This is Mr. Schumann. Welcome back to P3. Well, he's trying to get P3. It's a good battle here. And still, the team
turns down
giving
into the
him
one a
some-
little bit.
Lions. I'm still struggling. Struggle to comprehend why the 49 is battling these guys 24 laps down. He's just out there having some fun.
It's all fun and games as long as you don't wreck me. I don't mind racing, even if you're a lap down, if I have nothing to race for. But if you wreck me, good luck getting out of the racetrack without me finding you. Oh, as TW gets really tight off the corner there. These two are duking it out right now.
Good battle for third place.
Oh, a little
Podium
contact.
position. Yep, the one for the second time tonight is going to wash up into the 52 to take that spot entirely. Now can Brandon get back and try it again here as we're on lap 100. When we cross the line, it's going to be 25 laps to go. This race seems like it's flying by pretty quickly. We only went live 55 minutes ago, and we're almost seeing the checkered flag after 3 cautions. We've been rolling there, Colt.
Yeah, been a really good pace race. You know, a couple of mistakes early on, like we typically see, but everybody kind of gets their act together. I tell you, somebody who does not want the 52 and the 1 to keep battling as hard as they are, the 42, John Freeman. He is set sail. He has got a almost 7.5 second lead. He's coming up to lap Chase Rockford again. Chase having a rough night tonight. You know, he is just way out there. And Keenan Kimber, on the other hand, I don't know whether he wants to see the caution or if he's just comfortable right there because of the big gap he's got behind him. He might just be happy for a second place, or if he feels like he's got something for John. You know, if we get a late caution, we might see a 2-tire stop. Maybe guys try to stay out. We've seen it before. Late race yellows have really affected a handful of races this season, so hopefully they keep it green though.
With the amount of space here, I'm not seeing many cars loose. I just see them bouncing off the wall for sure, but I don't see a lot of cars really loose. So it's going to be contact between these two guys, if anything, if there's going to be a caution. I do believe with 21 laps to go this time around, still flying through it at sub 20
as they
second lap
make contact
times, and
there.
They're trying to paint a picture here. I said if these two guys do it, and they almost did it. So now there's a space between them. Oh, as Keenan Kimber smashes the wall this time off of turn 2. But countless times we've seen it, Colt, and it's not really had any adverse effects.
Yeah, as long as he didn't bend the toe on the right front, I think he'll be fine. Typically, if you hit the ball pretty square, the car absorbs it a lot more. It's if you hit it at a weird angle, tank slap the wall, that's typically when you have your suspension damage. But hitting it square like he did, I don't think that's going to be an issue. But back to the Schumann-Welch feud we have going on back here. Schumann did a great job not spinning out into the 1. You see him get loose under braking there. Car goes, 15, 20 degrees sideways. He is wrecked. He just doesn't know it. But he lifts. He doesn't throttle up. He doesn't try to use the 1 to keep the car straight. He lifts off the gas, cranks the wheel really hard to keep it straight. And thankfully, the air on the right side kept the car from completely spinning out and not wiping the 1 out in the process.
10-4 on that. 17 laps to go now in this race number 10 at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. I know it's late into the broadcast, but let's get one little section called Turn Up the Tunes. I don't get to play this all that often, but we're going to listen to these cars just real quickly. Drive around this track, and we'll be back here for the final moments of this race. 8 laps to go. As you just listen to turn up the tubes just for a little bit as these beautiful sounding ARCA cars go around Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. And, well, there's not much of a story there, Colt. 11.4 seconds. John Freeman has over a half a lap track lead over the next guy, Keenan Kimber. I mentioned SVG earlier as a comparison, but he won Watkins Glen just a few weeks ago. 11 seconds ahead of second place. So clearly an SVG moment here tonight for the driver of the number 1.
Yeah, for sure. And, we're going to keep giving John grief about this, but, I mean, he could blow a motor right now and probably still win the race. And he's got 5 to go. So he is just set sail and not looking back. And back to what you said about SVG, he is really got into I've talked about it before, that flow state the driver gets into, that rhythm you get into as he knocks the wall down. But
wait a minute,
the same braking points, the same throttle points, same wheel input points every time, and you kind of, the best way to describe it is when you're driving down the highway and you space out for 20 minutes and then you realize that you just woke up while you're driving and you didn't die. That's kind of what these drivers get into, what I get into when we're racing sometimes, and there's not a whole lot to do. You just kind of get into a rhythm and space out, and then all of a sudden something will catch your eye and you're like, oh, I'm still awake, I'm still here. And I'm sure John's looking for that white flag to be the thing that pulls him out of there.
Schumann almost died off of turn 4. Wicked loose, hits the wall, bounces down halfway across the track, and keeps it going. But yeah, we're going to bring up this man coming up to the white flag, 1 to go, presented by absolutely nobody. John Freeman. 0.6 miles left, and this guy's going to claim his second win of the 2025 inaugural season. 12.2 seconds is the lead. Nobody in front, nobody behind. 2 more corners, and in a very anticlimactic shape, 42, Mr. Freeman takes it home tonight. Checkered flag for this man who just now waits for everybody else to cross the line as he's just in coast mode.
So it looks like Brandon Schumann got past DW. I don't know what happened there. Maybe DW slipped up just a bit. Schumann got by him. But 42 is he just sails it off in there. But way up high.
No. He just gave it to him. He didn't hit the wall. He just coasted up to the top and let the 52 by. That was kind of wild. Yeah. I don't know if there's like a driver agreement to that, but regardless, this man's not going to do a burnout right now. And at least he's going to do the old Polish victory lap. And, well, as he does that, here's your unofficial results as he continues to thank the trees off of turn 3. You got John Freeman, Keenan Kimber, and Brandon Schumann is your top 3, and the only 3 that finished on the lead lap. 4th place on back, 1 lap down or more. That's Derek Welch, Mark Truxell, Chase Rockford, Steve Rada, Aaron Longworth, Dominic Bettini, Corey Bigley, Pete Pellini, and the man of the 25 who decided not to race tonight after practicing, Bobby Hamilton Jr. is the caboose for the finishing order. We got to grab our top 3. See where they're at real quick. Colt, you want to give a quick summary here as I bring those 3 guys in?
Yeah, that was really solid racing. A few mistakes. I know car count again was fairly low, but they a couple of mistakes as the guys were fighting the handling early on, getting grips to running around other cars. Oh, Jeremy, he hit the wall.
Well, we know what we got to do.
Yeah, we do. Again, I'm pretty sure we had to do this last time too. He needs some burnout training.
I think it was the same driver too, right?
Agreed, yeah.
Well, as I just learned, my text messaging app was open microphone doing text to speech. I have to clear out 5 paragraphs of my commentary. But I do believe we have. Well, I had 3 drivers in the broadcast waiting room. We lost one, which is Keenan Kimber. Where did Keenan Kimber go? He disconnected. So we're gonna jump straight to second place. Or sorry, he was second place. So we're gonna jump to third place, see if he comes back. So we're gonna bring in the 52 of Brandon Schumann here as we kick off the post-race show, presented by Victory Phil. And we got Brandon. Congrats on a third place finish here tonight.
Thank you, thank you.
Pretty brutal track tonight. A lot of bumps and whatnot. Cars feeling great early, especially yours. You look like you're a strong contender, and then it just fell off a hill, man. Explain what it's like to have a fast car, then just within like a 2 lap span go from like fast to oh crap, these tires are toast.
Well, like the first handful of laps, I was feeling like, pretty good. I was feeling rock solid. I also want to apologize to Big Leaf getting into him early on. I know that was very unfortunate, causing them to have a hectic night. So I'm gonna apologize for that. But the tires, you start off really, really quick, and you feel like you got everything in the world, and then all of a sudden, maybe like 15, 20 laps in, depending how you're doing on the tires, whether you're pushing or whether you're saving. Um, I thought the arc was the best line, but I was actually in the same voice chat with John Freeman, and he said it was actually about the same time you guys were talking about should you run the yellow line, and he goes, "I'm gonna run the yellow line for for uh for the hell of it," and he wraps the yellow line and he goes, "Yeah, this is the fastest way around," and I couldn't get around it like he could. So props to him for not only wrapping the yellow line but for getting the win. But yeah, it became a struggle bus after once it became a long run.
Listen to that, Cold. I just bring up casual conversation, and I motivated a driver to pick up some speed out there tonight, unintentionally. And well, there you go. So, a good run overall, though. Just a quick question: what was you and Derek Welch were battling so good for so long, and at the end he just gave it away. He finished 1 lap down because he came down on the white flag to pit, kind of like Mark Martin style. Um, what was that about?
He I asked him because I got confused, and he told me his internet bugged out. So
Man,
I mean, I it was very unfortunate because we were having a good battle there.
with 2 to go, internet issues. That is super unfortunate, but thanks for clarifying that up anyways. But good run overall, P3 still. And floor is yours. Any shout outs you want to give?
Yes, I want to shout you guys out for always putting on a great broadcast. I want to shout my parents out for watching. Want to shout out team owner Ryan Chapman for bringing me aboard, always allowing me to come on and run every Thursday night. Want to shout out Scott from Icon Apparel. Want to shout out John Freeman for also giving me the tips, and that's it.
All right, man. Well, good stuff there. We will catch you for race number 11 for the first round of the playoffs at Atlanta, or should I say Echo Park? But I guess it's the old track, so I think we're gonna be okay on that. So,
It's still
all right,
Atlanta to me. Always
still
will be.
forever and always, right?
Indeed.
Well, have yourself a good rest night. We'll see you next week.
Alrighty, you guys as well.
Thank you. All right, there's your third place finisher, Brandon Schumann, and Colt looks like you might have Keenan Kimber as he's back for a second position post race interview.
Kenny Kimber, it's Cold and the Nerditudes broadcast. You got a copy? Oh, might have some audio issues. Keenan, it's Colt in the booth. You got a copy?
Can you
Oh,
hear me?
there he is. There he is. We got you now. Keenan, you pretty solid night tonight. You ended up working your way up to that second spot, and you and John Freeman just took off there at the end. Congratulations on the second. How was your night tonight?
I appreciate I think the night went great. Way better than I expected. I haven't had very much experience here, and I just did a lot of practice throughout the week and showed out tonight.
But yeah, you look super fast there. Got into a little bit of trouble with that big wreck early on, but didn't seem to affect you too badly. We were talking to the other drivers. Were you running the arc or were you running the yellow line all night long?
I couldn't figure out how to get it to hook the bottom like some of the other cars were, so I just stuck to the arc and it worked out.
Well, it definitely did. Working your way up to second there. Did you think you had anything for Freeman, or were you just riding and hoping the yellow didn't come out and have a restart?
Thought I could hang with him, but as soon as he got about a 3-second gap, I realized that I wasn't going to be able to maintain. So I just backed it down and took care of it for the end.
Well, good job on that tonight. You got anybody you want to shout out or say thank you before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to all for tonight, of course, and everything y'all have done this season. Thank you to my buddies Dominic and Derek. They've helped me a lot this season. It's been a struggle for me, and they've just helped me stay positive through it all. Aaron, Jason, they've helped me just as much as well with their words of encouragement. So I just wanted to say thank you to them.
Well, it paid off tonight. Were able to get up that podium. So congratulations, man. Have a good night. And I gotta say, I love the UAW throwback. You don't see that very often. So have a good rest of your night, man.
Thank
That was Keenan Kemmer, the guy who finished second place, and his looks like his internet wasn't treating him well. We saw him blinking on the track, and his voice was kind of in and out. So with his Jerry Nady throwback that you just mentioned, we're now going to turn our attention to the man with two numbers, forever and always. McLovin in the Discord, John Freeman on track, 42 on the paint, number one on the podium. Doesn't matter. John Freeman, congrats, dude.
Thank you, man. How are y'all doing tonight?
Hey, we're doing good, man. We're not 12.6 seconds ahead of the field good, but walk us through your tire saving strategy because apparently you do it way better than everybody else did.
Oh, well, I've always been known for being kind of a tire conserver. So I kind of let Schumann by on one of those restarts and just was really just riding behind him, going about 60-70%. I knew from the little bit of practice we got today that after about 20 laps, he kind of fell off. I was even trying to talk him into saving a little bit more than he was. I was like, I'm behind you. I'm not trying to pass you. But he just couldn't quite figure it out the same way I could. But he still had a good run. So, no, just conserved behind him, man. Patient. And I found this probably, I don't know, 30-40 laps into the race that if I could hold not really drive it in deep to the bottom, but like coast it in hard and then like trail brake through the center, it really tend to balance out the tire wear because you were kind of using the right front, leaning on the right front on entry, but you were leaning on the right rear on center off. And it really seemed to like just help the long run pace. So I just stuck to that line the rest of the race, and it didn't seem like anyone else could run that same line. So it ended up working out at the end.
So with a fixed setup like tonight, where everyone just struggled, there's got to be something other than just not giving it 100%, right? I know Colt leaned into that kind of hard about
Mhm.
halfway into the race on the strategy, but like, is there like a certain breaking point that you fell in love with in practice? Is there just a certain amount of like, uh, what's it called in the car? The steering ratio. There's something that you can change in there to like kind of just make the car not lose handling.
Not really. Like, I'm a big believer in a higher steering ratio personally. It helps me, but I know guys that run super low ratios that are better than I am. So I don't think that really makes a big difference. When you talk about like breaking points, I could not tell you. I'm a field driver. That's probably the same reason I money shifted when I should have won the Watkins Glen race because
Rip.
I don't have markers. So I just go off a feel. Always been that way. So really, I just think it was like getting in a rhythm because I'm a rhythm guy more than a marker. Like I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. I can't look at a marker and run a consistent lap time. Like I have to just feel it and get in the rhythm. But no, it worked out. I really wish, I wouldn't have money shifted to Glenn or even the week before that where I got dumped by my team owner Ryan Chapman in the last lap while leading. Could have 4 wins on the season right now, but I'm glad to get 2 back to back, and hopefully we can compete for a championship, I guess.
Well, it all starts next week at Atlanta, man. We're going to the big boy tracks now. So, that being said, congrats on the win, second win this season, and any shout outs you want to give out?
Yeah, Brandon Schumann for always being a bum. No, shout out on his P3. To all my
Nice.
JCR teammates, Wilson Wheels Auto and Trucking Services, Andrew Nagy, Glenn Grimm, great teammates over there. Twisted Speed Setup Shop. Make sure to check them out if you need any open setups. And again, to you guys, I really hope we can get some more guys in the field, make this a little bit more entertaining. But thank you guys for sticking in there and putting on a great broadcast.
Appreciate the words there, John. Excellent there. And congrats. We'll catch you for playoff racing next week at Atlanta.
Have a great night.
You too. All right. The race winner, reminiscing on the past, looking in the future at the same time. Colt, his voice sounded like he is ready and pumped for this playoffs.
Yeah, I think everybody's ready to go through this points reset and kind of almost a second season in a way, but we're racing 2 races at a time, and these guys are going to get to brawl it out, they're just going to be trimming the field down as they go. So everybody's got to go as hard as they can, as quickly as they can, and I think that might kind of change some of the mindset these drivers have had, because up to now it's been win and you're in, or just maintain a solid points race or points season. And that all changes next week. It's you want to win because you might miss a race. You might have internet trouble. I mean, we talked about internet of DW. That's our form of mechanical failures. I mean, we don't have mechanical failures in iRacing. So if your PC or your internet fails you, that's just like breaking a shock or a truck arm, bending, or whatever, blowing a motor. I mean, that's what we have. So these guys really got to make sure they go out and get that win pretty early.
Yeah, and that definitely simulates it pretty well. They don't need to implement it in the iRacing service. We talked about that in the pre-race. So let our computers and internet issues be the mechanical failures in any form of racing online. And we're gonna close this thing out. Appreciate y'all for joining in. Dustin, thank you for all the work you do behind the scenes, pressing the buttons tonight, rebuilding websites, all that fun jazz. And that's it. We're going to go off air until Sunday night for the Global Racing League Truck Series. And then we'll be back, of course, next Wednesday and Thursday, which is at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, for both the OP Butt Kicker Series as they go to round number 2 of their playoffs, and then opening round of the playoffs for ProSim Racing Alliance. So you guys have a good rest of your night. Stay safe. Get your nerd on. Of course, we'll see you next week.
Back when nothing truly